Many people can remember Mao Mao Here's a Pure Heart, right? What is Mao Mao, you may ask? Well, good question. I know some people may know the show, but I do. Mao Mao Here's a Pure Heart was basically a show that aired on Cartoon Network in 2019 and was created by Parker Simmons, who has done other animations including shorts. And the show's original concept goes beyond just a normal kids show. Once, an episode about Oranga Snake's real intentions was produced secretly by a good part of the staff who ran the risk of being fired without thinking twice. Even some of the original voice actors were involved. The episode was eventually leaked by an anonymous user who uploaded on some little trendy cartoon forum. That day, my computer was doing an annoying noise like if it were a risk. My big brother insisted to check it up or the CPU was going to literally burn up. Anyway, I got into that forum where the thread posted by a relatively new user posted the lost episode. I had some time to download it before having to go to my grandparents' house. We got back at 1 a.m. My dad was drunk, my mom forced him to sleep in the sofa, and my brother went out with his girlfriend saying that he was going to the movies with her to avoid having to do with my grandparents. Whatever. As soon as I got home, I started the episode, and as expected, my computer kept making that noise. The episode was called The Praying Soul of Mao Mao, and according to the summary, this is an alternative episode to the Season 1 finale, Strange Bedfellows. In this episode, it is shown as a common Mao Mao episode. It begins with Mao Mao, Adorabat, and Badger Clops battling a giant beast of the shroom. This time, a huge crowd of sweetie pies can be seen in the background. But in that exact moment, Oranga Snake, one of the sky pirates, came out of nowhere and starts to open fire, and a slow motion sequence is shown how he accidentally shoots Mao Mao, and when it hits him, everything turns black and white, and Broken Wings by Mr. Mister plays in the background. Mao Mao is then seen lying on the ground, but with a puddle of his own blood. The video goes back to colors when Mao Mao is still lying on the ground, and it is noticeable. A bright red puddle of blood. The crowd glares, horrified in the Oranga Snake, and the scene cuts abruptly after showing Mao Mao lying over a puddle of his own blood, staring at the sky. It's there Act 1 ends. Act 2 starts with a funeral, and now everything seems extremely depressing. It actually took place at a graveyard, and a tombstone that reads Mao Mao's name, but the weird part on the tombstone said that he was born in 2004. And believe it or not, that was the same year I was born. Even though Mao Mao wasn't around in 2004, he was created in 2019. Adorabat, Badger Clops, and King Snugglemane looked very forlorn. The Sweetie Pies laments as well, and the camera focuses during 2 insufferable minutes on Adorabat crying inconsolably. It sounded real, as if the voice actress was actually crying to make this scene. Badger Clops, in extreme grief, regrets about this while furiously kneeling down at Mao Mao's tombstone, crying that this would have happened. Act 2 cuts abruptly to black. Act 3 begins with a label, 2 days later after Mao Mao's death, on which the sheriff's HQ is seen from the outside. But it's cloudy and gloomy. Badger Clops is then seen in the living room, extremely stressed, with a rigid smile and hanging a rope in the ceiling while singing Help by the Beatles. The screen then went black as Badger Clops was actually going to hang himself with the noose. The screen then switches to Badger Clops hanging himself with the noose around his neck. After that, we cut to a scene where one of Mao Mao's family members, including Mao Mao's dad, Shin Mao, Adorabat, King Snugglemane, the other Sky Pirates, and the Sweetie Pies from Pure Heart Valley, are in a prison's electric chair room with a Oranga Snake in it. All of them had twisted and sick smiles with the purest, unhealthiest, sadistic joy. He begs for mercy and wants them to let him go, but then King Snugglemane orders Quentin to proceed with the execution. Quentin, smiling in a sick and morbid way, switches on the chair. Right before his death, a sequence of real photos can be seen, showing a picture of a realistic snake and a gorilla, although it doesn't look like a Oranga Snake, but they clearly represent him. Oranga Snake finally dies brutally, electrocuted on a slow, lethal voltage to lighten his suffering. The episode ends with Oranga Snake's lifeless body being thrown on a pile of decaying corpses, among which Badger Clops was still fresh. The next morning I looked again for the episode, but to no avail. But the user was banned, and the file no longer exists. Possibly.